Are you ready to take your message, your business, and your life to the next level?
Want to learn from someone with more than a decade of experience, training tens of thousands of people from all around the world?
Hi, Cliff. This is Pauline from Auckland, New Zealand.
John from Calgary, Alberta.
Amy Porterfield.
Michael Hyatt.
Dan here from Dunedin, New Zealand.
Ray Edwards.
Mark Mason. Mike Stelzner.
Pat from Smart Passive Income.
It's Darren from Melbourne, Australia.
Now is the time to live the life of your dreams and do the work you feel most called to do in the world.
Welcome to the Cliff Ravenscraft Show.
Here's your host, Cliff Ravenscraft.
That's right, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show. And I'm super excited because, well, today, this episode right here officially kicks off the strategic marketing for Free the Dream 2019. That's right, my friends. I am super excited to finally get to talk about Free the Dream Conference and why you should probably go ahead over to freethedreamconference.com to grab your tickets so that you can join us in Franklin, Tennessee this September 13th through the 15th. Okay. So here's the deal. I know that in my show, the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, I've spent a great deal of time focused on me sharing my story, my journey with you of reinventing myself. Ever since September 2017, I read the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. There was something brewing for a solid 18 months way before I read that book. But that book was the final straw on the camel's back that said, this podcasting A to Z and Podcast Answer Man brand, it has done amazing things. It has been one of the greatest gifts that God has ever brought into my life. But it was very clear that what got me to where I was at that point is not what was going to get me to where I was supposed to be next in living out the life for which God put me on this earth to live. Again, there is no regret whatsoever for the more than 10 years that I spent as the Podcast Answer Man. All of that was necessary. And the tens of thousands of people that I helped launch a podcast, that is a gift that God had given me, and I am forever thankful for it. But then I felt like I want to transition. I feel like there's something more that I'm supposed to do in this world, and it's not the technical side of podcasting as far as my main source of income. I believe, and I've come to the realization, there is another skill that I have possessed all of this time, and I've had this limiting belief that this skill was not a marketable skill. But over time, I had discovered that the gift and skill of encouraging and motivating people and inspiring people to think differently about life and purpose and our future, to entertain, educate, encourage, and inspire people to become who they were created to be, to break free from what's been holding them back. That is a marketable skill. And I've proven to myself that that is in fact true, as I've since September 2017, made the transition from Podcast Answer Man to Mindset Answer Man. And quite frankly, a majority of my content here in the Cliff Ravenscraft Show has been me authentically sharing with you what I'm learning in that transition process. And a part of my transition and a part of this picture, if you will, of who I was created to be, why I feel like I was given the opportunity and the privilege to walk on this planet, was to do something on a big scale. And it's that vision of the future that one day I will have the opportunities to use this marketable skill to radically and profoundly impact the lives of tens of thousands of people in single stadium style events. Crazy dream, I know, but it's a vision that I have of the future that I feel is not of myself alone, but it is something that I'm being drawn to, that I've been called to. Now, that's been the focus of it. But now today, I want to talk a bit not about me, about my dream, about my goal, my vision of the future, and how I'm going after it. But today I want to specifically take some time just for a few moments to share what Free the Dream Conference is. So what is the Free the Dream Conference? In the simplest way for me to explain it to you, it is a mindset-focused conference. It is a personal and professional development conference. You see, over the years, as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner, I've been very blessed to be in a network of amazing peers who all host their own conferences, platform conference, social media marketing world, these podcasting conferences. I used to be the director of podcasting for the Blog World and New Media Expo. I've been around a lot of conferences, a lot of events, a lot of people's trainings and materials. And for more than a decade, I've had the blessing to meet tons of people, and some of those people I've seen at event after event after event. And now when I go to these events, it's always been for the purpose of connecting with other human beings, to get to know who they are, what their story is, why are they here, and to ask them what their dreams are, what they're going after, and to learn more about how, is there any way that I can entertain, educate, encourage, or inspire them in any way that will help them get one step closer to taking their life to the next level, or closer to becoming who they were created to be. And over this past 10, 12 years or whatever I've been attending these events, one thing that I've noticed is there are so many people that I met 8, 9 years ago at the very first conference where I first met them face to face, and I asked them what their dreams are. And they shared with me what those dreams are. I asked them, what are they doing right now to pursue that? And they told me what they were doing right now to pursue that. And then I would see them the next year at that very same conference, or I would see them maybe 2 or 3 years ago at a different conference, but still, focused on solopreneurs or whatever the case may be, and stuff like that. And the one thing I will tell you is that an overwhelming majority of these people were attending these conferences for the strategic, tactical information that they could gather and gain so that they can learn stuff that would help them figure out what are the next right steps for them to grow their business to a level where they can maybe leave the day job, or for them to get to the place where if they've already left the day job, voluntarily or involuntarily in some people's cases, where they could actually take their efforts of what they've been building in their business pursuits to a level that, quite frankly, will help them get out from under all of the anxiety and the pressure of just eking out a meager existence. And well, year after year, I've noticed that so many of those people had not moved forward very far. Now, part of it, I agree, could be due to the fact that I'm in a mastermind group with some of the biggest movers and shakers in my industry of this entrepreneurial online business space. And as a result of doing life with these peers, my expectations of how things ought to be as far as what you're able to achieve and what you say you're going to do. And you certainly, we all in the green room have experienced significant failures, but man, how we bounce back from them and how quickly we bounce back and what we do next, it just seems like, man, this is what's possible when it comes to moving forward swiftly, learning quick, and moving forward with what you've learned and seeing success. And so part of it, I understand, is these folks have not had the benefit of, on a weekly basis, being in a mastermind group like I had been and have been and continue to be in the Green Room Mastermind. But the thing is I realized what they were missing is the mindset part of things. They were learning. Here's the thing. For these individuals that I've met, I can go to a conference, and that conference is going to teach them how to effectively grow their mailing list, how the step-by-step process of exactly what they need to do and in what order to do it to start their mailing list or to take their existing mailing list and add the next 5,000 subscribers to their mailing list within the next 90 to 180 days. That insight, that information is available at all of these events, and it's available for free on the internet. You can find this stuff everywhere. Not only that, but you can go to these events and learn how to use Facebook ads. But the implementation of all that they've learned, all the information they gathered, they just haven't taken action on it. They feel like, well, man, that's great, but what's the next thing I need to learn? And there's always been, what I've noticed is a significant gap in between what people say that they're going to do based upon what they learned and what they actually end up doing. And when I went to Unleash the Power Within and I began to study some materials from Tony Robbins, I heard him say a phrase, and I've heard it so many times now, that success in any area of life, and certainly business pursuits, but this literally applies to every area of life. Success in any area of life is 20% skill, technique, or strategy, and 80% mindset. And what is mindset? Mindset, it's what you believe, it's what you feel emotionally, and it is the behaviors or the actions you take based upon what you believe and how you feel. And there are very few conferences that these people attend that address the mindset side of stuff. It's like 95% of all the conferences, all of the online courses, all of the workshops that you can attend, 95% of them are skill, techniques, tactics, and strategies, which, by the way, are essential. You need good techniques. You need good tactics. You need good information. But 95% of what's available for you to purchase, to invest in yourself for your success, 95% of what I've seen is available is what makes up and what's required for 20% of success. But then there's the mindset side of things. And of course, you heard me talk about social media marketing world. And I was wondering, these people have been conditioned to come to social media marketing world for the 20% stuff, the techniques, the strategies, and stuff like that. Would people come for the mindset? Would they actually recognize that there's a need for it? And well, there was, and those people came, and I was delighted to see so many people open to that. And that's why I created the Free the Dream Conference, to help people discover belief systems, to help people get away from their day-to-day routine of expectations and demands of life, and to completely step away for 2.5 days and to get clear from all of that so that you can immerse yourself in the mindset side of things, that you could not just learn about the techniques of mindset, but there are actionable steps that we take during this conference where you're filling out questions about what you believe, why you believe it, where did those beliefs come from? Are those beliefs, let's evaluate them, are they beliefs that support the life for which you know that you were created to live? And if not, what beliefs, why are those beliefs absolutely a lie, even though it seemed logical for you to adopt them when you did? And what alternative empowering beliefs can you implement and believe in and write down and remember and apply to your life that will get you to feel differently about these actions that you need to take or the behaviors you need to stop doing, so that these beliefs will empower you to feel differently. And when you feel differently, you will act differently. And those different actions, which you're going to intentionally choose during this weekend event, are going to get you the results of what it is that you were put on this earth to do next, life at the next level. That's what Free the Dream Conference is all about. Breaking free from limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Breaking through procrastination and self-sabotage. Becoming emotionally supercharged, if you will, towards successful living more consistently. Not that Free the Dream's not going to help you live a happy, emotionally stable life 100% of the time, every single day of the week, but it's certainly going to help you do it more often, more effectively, more efficiently. And you will become, if you are a husband, you'll be a better husband. If you're a wife, you will become a better wife. If you're a parent, you will become a better parent. If you have a business, you will be more successful in your business pursuits. If you're an employee who loves your job as an employee, you will become one of the most effective, or certainly one of the most improved employees on your team. You will take your personal and professional life to the next level if you immerse yourself into the study of what it is that you want. And certainly there's no question that people have invested in the 20%. Free the Dream is that place where you can come and invest at the 80% of success, which is the mindset. Now, rather than me spend all of the time in this episode explaining to you how Free the Dream works, it probably would make sense for me to allow you to hear how Free the Dream Conference 2018, last year's event, the very first event that we hosted this, how has that impacted any of the people who attended? You've heard me talk about, from the perspective of me sharing my journey on the outside, that 87 people attended this event. Now, I don't know how many of the 87 I'm going to bring in and feature their stories, but what I will tell you is that all 87 people who attended this event experienced significant transformation on a level that is hard to explain with words. So what I'm going to share with you right now is an audio testimonial from my friend Daryl Darnell. And he sent me this. It was original in a video form. It was a video that he recorded personally and privately from him to me 1 week after Free the Dream 2018. And after I listened to it, I said, Daryl, I got to ask you a question, man. It's one thing for me to tell people how valuable the Free the Dream experience is, but it'd be a whole other thing if they could hear it from the people who experienced it from their perspective. Can I please use this as a testimonial for Free the Dream? And he says, yes, Cliff. In fact, he gave me the original recording of that video so that I had a higher quality of it. Well, what I'm going to do is I've actually already brought the video into Adobe Audition and I've turned it into an audio only version, and I've edited down and I removed a couple things that were more privately and personally just message for me, intended for just our relationship. So you'll notice, maybe not, some of the obvious edit points in here. And by the way, you will hear this sound. You will hear that sound, I think, 3 different times, because when he's telling me, he says, Cliff, I was literally on the fence. Should I go to Free the Dream Conference or should I go to event? And so I don't want this to be Cliff Ravenscraft's Free the Dream Conference versus somebody else's event. And so I've bleeped out the other event that he was thinking about attending. And that's the only note that I'm going to make for you. But what I'm going to share with you right now is what Daryl Darnell shared with me 1 week after attending Free the Dream.
Hey, Cliff. I just wanted to take a few minutes and reach out to you. It's been a week now since I've been home from the Free the Dream conference, and my instinct, or my initial desire, was to reach out to you a week ago today, like the day that I got back in the office. But in the end, I thought, let me just kind of simmer a little bit. Let me, it was almost like a mountaintop experience, and I didn't want to respond back to you in the moment of that glow. I wanted to I wanted to kind of relish in it and kind of get some action of a week and just life of a week kind of behind me, and maybe get a better perspective and then reach out to you. So that's why I'm just now reaching out. I want to thank you for your vision, your execution, the team that you assembled to put together Free the Dream. I have high expectations for you, man. I've known you for such a long time, and I have seen the quality that you have produced and everything that you've put your hand to. So I had really high expectations. At the same time, honestly, I still wasn't 100% sure that my time in Franklin was exactly right. When you and I sat down at Podcast Movement and we talked about Free the Dream and I made the decision to attend, I was definitely sure that I would walk away with something positive, learning something or getting an idea or something like that. You know, I was trying to decide if I was going to attend Free the Dream or which, as you know, is the very same location next month. And all year I've been planning to attend. But it was, as you and I discussed at Podcast Movement, it was that video that you posted to Facebook like a week before Podcast Movement that caused me to reach out to you and the conversation that followed. And obviously, ultimately, I decided to attend Free the Dream, and which means I'll have to put off until next year, which is fine because, oh man, you exceeded my expectations, my friend. As you know, Free the Dream was something special. Something special happened over the course of that weekend that is unlike anything I've experienced before. And I've experienced some magnificent gatherings at church gatherings or retreats and things like that that are still great all in their own way. This was different. I mean, it was spiritual and it was practical. It helped me focus on my business and helped me focus on my walk with Christ. It helped me think about my business relationships and my friendships and my relationships with my family. I mean, it touched every piece of my life, I think, and that's pretty remarkable and pretty incredible. So again, thank you to you and the team that you assembled for this weekend. This weekend of Free the Dream. Thank you. I have so many things that are spinning through my head and ideas and a lot of practical things too. Some things that I've already put into action, and I've changed my morning routine. I'm getting up an hour earlier. I'm spending time in reading. That was the thing. I mean, that was really what I was looking to do. Was I have not had a getaway focused on personal development really since I was at Mardel. That was something that we did every year. Was we tried to do, as a director, it was important. Even when I was a store manager, it was important each year for us to do something for really professional development. And so I go to like Podcast Movement and Podfest, but those are, me trying to get new business. Those aren't designed for me to grow professionally or personally, right? That's what I was looking for out of this conference, and it far exceeded my expectations or anything that I could have ever hoped or imagined, right? So thank you for that. I've got a Facebook Live that I'll be doing in the group soon. I'll tease you just by saying at one point, you had us write down goals, 25. I got to 11. That was all I was able to get down in the time. And then like the next day you said, we were going through those and you're like, what's the most immediate action you can take right now? I think you said. And I'm like, I'm going to take this literally. What can I do right now in my seat? So I took action on something and I bought something, but it won't arrive until probably next week because it just shipped today. It's coming from England. So that's a teaser. When it arrives, I'll be doing a Facebook Live on that in the group. So anyway, I just wanted to encourage you. I know you've received a lot of these things and emails and stuff like that, but I wanted to say thank you. I cannot wait for next year. I have not purchased my ticket for next year. I have every intention of bringing my entire family, and I intend to show my kids the 2 videos from Sunday, like Giovanna's and Ken's, were something special. And so I tend to make them watch those. I've already kind of told them and they've agreed to it. And then we'll see how the rest of the things open up. But I'm just blabbing now. So I'm very, very excited to bring them next year and make it a family affair. That's it. I want to encourage you. I love you so much. And I thank you for the mentorship that you provided me over the years, the friendship that you've provided me over the years, the inspiration that you've provided me over the years, the business contacts that you provided me over the years. And I thank you for Free the Dream. God bless you, my friend, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Well, there you go. In his own words, that is the feelings and emotions and the actions that had already happened just 1 week after Daryl Darnell's Free the Dream experience. There is so much in there. I love how he talked about the glow that he just wanted to bask in for a week. And I know that feeling because I was basking in the glow. We were all basking in the glow of that experience of what happened there. It was, in fact, something special. I love that Daryl said, listen, my expectations for you were very high and that it very much exceeded those expectations. I know that he was on the fence about attending another event that he was on his radar, and he wasn't. I love how in his message to me at that time was, I wasn't sure that this was the right decision. He even said openly, "Say, listen, I knew I would get something, that it would be it would be worth attending, but I wasn't sure it was exactly the right thing." And so he and I had dinner together at Podcast Movement last year, which was about a month or so. Actually, it was a month before Free the Dream. And at that dinner, I sat down with him and I asked him, I said, well, tell me, what is it that's on your mind? Where are you? And you're going to hear a little bit more from Daryl in just a moment because he recorded something recently I'm going to share with you. But he told me what it is, where he was in his business and his lack of clarity about what to do next, where to focus next. And I'm like, Daryl, I could sit here for the next 2.5 days at dinner with you and try to explain to you all the things that I would love to share with you, or you could come to Free the Dream, and I promise you, you will get the clarity you're looking for. And not only the clarity, but the motivation and the most important thing, you'll get the why. You'll get the leverage. You will begin pursuing new things in new ways that you never dreamed possible before. And so that was the dinner conversation we had. And I wasn't just selling him. I knew it would that what I was saying was true. And so he came, and of course he sent me this. And he says it was what did he said? He said Free the Dream was an experience like nothing I've ever experienced before. It was spiritual. It was practical. It impacted his business. It impacted his walk with Christ. His business relationships were revolutionized. His relationship with his family and friends, and that every part of his life had been impacted in a significant way as a result of Free the Dream. So again, I'm telling you, my friends, when I tell you, please go to freethedreamconference.com, it's not just so I can live my dream of pursuing this. And I that's the danger, I suppose, of me talking about me and my journey and what I'm doing so much and then saying, come to Free the Dream so that I can get there. That's not, I still do that with the danger of that potentially coming off that way, because I think it is important for me to share my journey, my dreams, my successes, my failures, and stuff like that. But I promise you that having you come to Free the Dream is not so that I can check off another step in the journey of me getting to what it is that I'm going after in life as goals and stuff like that. I want you to come to Free the Dream because there are things that you're meant to do in this world and some of the dreams that you're meant to dream, you've been conditioned as a result of our culture, as a result of what you've witnessed from other people in your life growing up, and unfortunately what you've heard from people you've respected with the utmost respect in your lifetime. You've heard things that they've said and you've adopted them as beliefs, and as a result of that, you are no longer dreaming at the same capacity that you dreamed as a kid. You've been conditioned to think about things that you want and desire as being selfish, and that you should just be content with what you have. And I want you to know this: if you're a believer like me, what you're experiencing today is awesome. We are all so blessed, and there's an endless number of things that we should be thankful for, and rightfully so. But I promise you that whatever you have today, and it's not material blessings or alone, it is, but where you are in life and what the amount of abundance and love and success that you feel, the level of fulfillment, the amount of joy that you experience when you wake up in the day for the new day, in anticipation of all that you get to do, where there's more that God has for you. And for those of you who aren't a believer, I will tell you that I would say at least 20% of those, maybe more, were not even Christians. And not every speaker on the stage was Christian at Free the Dream. So this isn't some like retreat Christian holy roller event or anything like that. So don't get that impression. But what I will tell you is that wherever you are in life, this event will impact you and break you free from so many things that are holding you back from the next thing that you know somewhere in your heart, whether it's conscious or maybe it's subconscious, that you on an unconscious level, it's there. It's just been kind of beaten out of your conscious mind. You've kind of put it, your hopes and dreams off. And you've become content with the fact that, well, maybe when the kids are out of school, maybe when I, get to this level, maybe once this, and I don't know if you've ever come to the realization that I've come to a couple times. I need to be reminded of it. We only get one time around on this planet, and me, I'm looking at the fact that I'm getting ready. I'm halfway between 46 and 47, my friends. And I've still got a lot that I want to do. I'm enjoying where I'm at. I'm not rushing things, if you've been listening, but there's more, and there's more for you. And I got to tell you, ever since I came to understand the things that I share personally at Free the Dream, and what I learned from the speakers that I invite to speak at Free the Dream, what I've learned from them, and you'll get to hear directly from them those things, the amount of success, abundance, joy, love that is available, it burdens my soul that you're not already experiencing it, that you're not already basking in the glow of it. And that's why I want you to come to Free the Dream Conference this year. I'm telling you, you will be transformed. This will not be this will not be the last person you hear about what their experience was with Free the Dream. I will find some other people who will be able to be willing to share. A lot of it was very personal, and some may not be as willing to share just how, in what areas of their lives they experienced freedom from what was holding them back and the transformation. Some will more than likely have no problem at all telling you with great enthusiasm, just like Daryl has here, allowed me to share his personal message from him to me in what you just heard. So head over to freethedreamconference.com. Now, here's the thing. In there, he said that he says, I'm going to give you a hint at something. As we were going through the session where we were filling out, there's a whole workshop for goal setting. And I said, listen, you need to take one of the things that you wrote down, and it doesn't matter which one. Don't worry about it. Just take one of them and go through and answer these, I think it's 36 questions. And we spent an hour on answering 36 questions. And one of the questions was, what's one thing you can do right now that's going to get you one step closer? And Daryl had written down, I think he said he got to 11 different dreams or goals or things that he wants out of life. And I gave everybody the permission. It can be anything. It can be spiritual, relational, it can be physical, it can be material. You have the permission to be selfish. Whatever comes to your mind, to your heart, don't let your head get in the way. Don't let any other voices that tell you that this is materialistic. Write down whatever you want, even if it's a multi-million-dollar house or a yacht. I mean, just go to town. And so he chose one item, and he told us here in this audio that you just heard just a moment ago about something that he made a purchase, and he was going to do a Facebook Live about it. Well, he did do a Facebook Live as soon as that item came in the mail, and I watched that Facebook Live. I have it on file. I downloaded the video of it. But I never did anything with this until now, and I'm not going to play for you the video of what he did, of what he ordered, where he announced it. But I'm actually going to play for you a Facebook Live that he did just this past week, where the dream that he wrote in his workbook is now a reality, and what he wanted is now parked in his driveway. And so with that, I'm going to edit it down because it was a 23-minute live stream. So this is going to probably be a bit more choppy on the editing, but at least I think it'll give you a picture of what he wrote down and why he wrote it down and how he achieved it and what motivated and inspired him. Listen to it, and then I'll come back.
Okay, so here I am in my neighborhood today, and so yesterday I posted a picture of my new car, and I said, this just got delivered today, story coming tomorrow, or something to that effect. So let me switch the camera around. Here we go. All right, so here it is. This is a 1972 MGB GT. It has been mostly restored. I would say almost completely restored. Just a beautiful car, if you like these sorts of things, which obviously I do. I'll just give you a walk around here, and we'll be talking about why I got the car here in just a few minutes. Okay, let's talk about the car. Let me get in here. Let's see if I can get this set up. Let me start from the beginning. Those of you who have known me for a long time know I'm a very goal-oriented person. I always have been. It's kind of ironic, I guess, in a way, that I got this car on May 1st. So on May the 4th, 2013, I left the corporate job that I had worked at for almost 19 years, 18 and a half years. So the first week of May is a big week for me. It's not only is May the 4th Star Wars Day, it's my anniversary of becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So when I left my corporate job 6 years ago, I had reached a place about a year ago where I had really achieved all the initial goals that I had set out to do. And so I was struggling with what's next. I didn't want to sell the business. I didn't want to get out of the business. I wanted to continue to grow the business and help more podcasters. But I wasn't really sure how to stay motivated. And doing the same old and just growing, doing the same things wasn't as motivating to me as it had been in the beginning. And I needed to find my new why. Like, what was my why that was going to keep me going to go to the next level and some things like that. And I was really struggling with that. And I was at Podcast Movement last year in Philadelphia, and I had dinner with Cliff Ravenscraft. And Cliff's always been a good friend of mine, and we've been business associates. He's been a mentor in a lot of ways to me. And so we were just chatting, and he was preparing for his first really big conference called Free the Dream, and we talked about that and whether that might be a good thing for me to attend or not. And after having dinner with him, I decided that it would be a good thing for me to attend. And so I did. That was last September. And the Free the Dream conference was the best conference that I've ever been to in terms of personal development. The Free the Dream conference was so good, and it helped me in a lot of ways, brought clarity in a lot of ways, and helped motivate me in a lot of ways. There were some great speakers that were there, not just Cliff. And one day, and I brought the notebook with me. Okay, so one day, Cliff specifically talked about how to achieve any goal. So I'm looking over here at this because I want to read what came in the workbook that we went to. How to achieve any goal, 10 steps to achieve any goal. Number 1, know what you want. Number 2, know why you want it. And use this as your fuel. This is your motivation. Number 3, believe it's possible. Number 4, decide right now that you must achieve this goal. And he went into this whole thing about what the word decide means and where it originated from, and it's really cool. Number 5, write it down. And I've always been a big fan of writing things down, especially goals. Number 6, place your goals where you can see them. Oh, did I? Oh, I did. I thought I forgot it. Okay. So that's where this thing right here I just put down is going to come and play in a minute. Place your goals where you can see them. And then as a subnote, because really what we focus on consistently, we tend to manifest in our lives. And I know some of you don't like the word manifest. It's a little woo-woo or whatever. Get over that. It's okay. Number 7, tell others. That's hugely important. Tell others. 8, take massive action now. Number 9, evaluate your results. And number 10, change your approach if needed. So those were the 10 steps that he gave us to helping achieve goals. And I loved this. This was just like candy for me because, I love goals, I love lists and stuff like that. So he asked us to write down, or he challenged us to write down 25. He gave us time to do it. I only got to 11. I still haven't gone back and filled in the other 25. I really felt like the 11 was good for now. I won't go through all of these. There are things like don't have a mortgage, so pay my house completely off. Travel to Europe. These are things I want to have done in the next 5 to 10 years. Own multiple businesses, so not just the one, but own multiple businesses. Start a mentorship program. I'll get back to that in a minute. I got some other things here. Take an annual mission trip, which is that one I was already doing, so it's like, I don't know if I should count that one. I talked about doing some things for my wife and some other things that are on there as well. So, number 3, own an MGB GT. Now, the MGB GT is a car that I have loved for almost 10 years. I almost bought an MGB, which is the convertible version of this car, 10 years ago when I bought my Toyota Celica. But I didn't. It wasn't practical for what my needs were then when I was driving so far to the corporate job and stuff. It was around that time that I discovered the GT, the hardtop that you see here, and I just fell in love with them. And I've just become more and more obsessed with them over the years. And then when I wrote that down last year, it was like, it was on. And so while we're there at the conference, the next day or the day after, it was a 3-day conference. At one point, Cliff kind of regrouped us and wanted to bring us back to this exercise we'd done on the first day and said, what immediate action can you take right now to achieve one of those goals? And so, and largely inspired by him, he had wanted a Volkswagen Beetle, and one of his clients actually sent him like a fairly large one, like probably 6 inches long or something like that, a Volkswagen Beetle to put on his desk to remind him that that's his goal. And Cliff had used that to motivate him to get the car. So obviously I was inspired by that. And so what I did is right then and there, while I was sitting at the Free the Dream conferences, I went on Amazon and I purchased this. I have to admit, it's much smaller than what I thought. It's tiny. It's like a little, look, it's in my hand. I guess this car is tiny. I can't get this at the right angle to show you. It's tiny. It's like 1.5 inches long. I thought it was going to be like six inches, and but it worked. I stuck this, I have a little Bluetooth speaker right in front of my monitor on my computer, and I stuck this on that, and I look at it every day. Sometimes I play with it. That's right, I get it around and I drive it around on my desk. But I look at it every day. My family can tell you that I talk about MGB GTs all the time. I joined 3 Facebook groups that talk about MGs or MGBs or MGBGTs, all MGB stuff. I've been a member of a forum, an MGB forum, for close to 10 years. And I started shopping eBay and different car websites, Craigslist, and other things like that to try to find an MGB, mostly so that I would know a good one when I saw it. But always keeping this as my motivation, keeping my goal in front of me, literally putting my goal where I could see it every single day and putting this as my motivation. So what's your goal? You want to go to Europe? You want to go to Hawaii? You want to pay off your house? You want to get enough money in savings to send your kids to college? What is it? What can you put in front of you, in front of your face, on your bathroom mirror, or in your car, on your dash, or on your computer, or whatever, so that you see it all the time and you remain motivated by that? And that's why I ended up getting the car. This was not my number 1 goal. In fact, it was my number 3 or 4 or 5 goal. It was further down the list. And I realized that I should have picked something that was my number 1 goal. So now I've got to replace my number 1 goal, or replace my visual aid to what should be my number 1 goal, so I can stay focused on that. I mean, I love this car. I'm so glad I got it. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't intend it to be the first thing that we got on the list. But this process worked really, really well for me. Writing them down, keeping it in front of you, reviewing these often, telling other people about them. And it just has really helped me. And that whole conference has helped me redefine my why. And some of those other things I wrote down that I didn't share with you, and other things that I've got in other journals that I keep, are keeping me motivated to continue to grow and as a person, grow my business. I've started reading every single day, and that has really helped educate me in a lot of different ways. Like, is there something I want to invest? I want to get real estate properties. That's another one of the things that was on the list I didn't share with you guys. So I've been reading about investment properties and real estate every day for months, so that I can be educated and make good decisions when it comes time to do that, right? So just keep those things in front of you. Be mindful. Take time to exercise your brain to figure out what it is you want to achieve. And believe you can do it. Decide that you must achieve that goal. That's hugely important. Cliff was right. And that's a mindset that I had personally never really made sure I was taking on. And that was deciding that I must. It was like, yeah, these are goals I want to achieve. If I don't, that's okay. I'm sure I'll get close, and it'll be better than I was before, and I'll just keep growing. And that was kind of my attitude towards most of my goals, if not all of them. And so deciding that you must achieve a goal and putting that in front of you, telling other people about it, just worked so well. It was just huge for me. So that's kind of what's been going on. That's why I got the car. I will be selling the Celica GT, but this is a manifestation of a goal achieved. And I wanted to just take some time to kind of explain why I got it, how it came to be, and hopefully my intention, not to brag about the car. That wasn't my intention at all. My intention is to hopefully motivate you and inspire you to take time to think about what you want to achieve in your business, in your family, in your spiritual life, and in all aspects of your life, your health, and then achieve those goals. That's the story behind the new car. I'm going to go enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your day. Actually, I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to enjoy driving it the 3 blocks back to my house, and then I'm going to get back to work.
Oh my gosh. Daryl Darnell, congratulations on the purchase of your MGB GT. I am so excited for you. And not just that, but everything else that you shared. Oh gosh. Just a quick review from my perspective of where I am. I remember sitting with Daryl Darnell at Hard Rock Cafe, just there for Podcast Movement together, having dinner. And because he shared it here, I can tell you, he was at a place where in his business, he had already achieved all of the initial goals that he set out to accomplish when he left his corporate job. He was already a goal-oriented person, a guy who was motivated to set goals and achieve them. So it's not like goal setting was new to him. And so that in his mind is like, man, that kind of sounds like what Cliff's conference is going to be about setting goals and blah, blah, blah. So he wasn't sure, maybe I'll get a tip or two, right? However, what I noticed is that he was literally struggling with, what do I want next? I mean, I don't want to sell my business. I want to continue to do it, but I'm just not as motivated. I mean, how do I just don't know what to, I need a new why. I need to figure out how to find a new why. Now, he didn't get into that in his Facebook Live. The Facebook Live was mostly to tell the story about why he got the car and to inspire other people about how to achieve your goals. And I'm thrilled that he shared the 10-step process that I teach. But the cool thing is that the big thing for him, what I'm most excited, is that at Free the Dream, getting away from the distractions of the day job and all the demands and just the typical normal routine and immersing yourself into the kind of stuff that we talk about at Free the Dream, he was able to rediscover to uncover a brand new why. I love that. I love that he says Free the Dream Conference was the best event he's ever attended in terms of personal development. He said it brought clarity and motivated him in many ways. I love that he wrote down 11 things, and not everything was a materialistic thing. I mean, Daryl is an incredible human being who has a desire to follow Christ, to be a great husband and father, and to impact the world around him, not just in business, but certainly in business, but outside of that as well. So there are many goals that are on his list. And what I love is, like, listen, number 3 on my list was this MGBGT. And my favorite thing that he said, I didn't even intend for this to be the first goal that I accomplished on my list. But if you were at Free the Dream last year, those of you who are listening, you know why he actually has that as the first goal that he actually achieved. And the secret to that, well, one of the secrets to that is he clearly stated it. And if you come to Free the Dream, it'll be even more clear to you. But the reality is that when it came down to sitting down in the 1-hour workshop where we sat down and we reviewed and put into practice all the things that I teach about the Free the Dream message, and specifically this goal setting, I say just choose from the list of 25. He only had 11 on his list. But I said choose one of those goals and let's go through all of the process for this. And by the way, just putting it in front of you is not the only thing, but it's one of the big ones. But the thing is he actually went through the entire process of turning the MGBGT into a must. And then he went and took one action, which was to buy a physical representation, a toy car. Now, mine is he talked about my gift from Chris Nelson. It is I think a 1/36th or something like that, or 1/30th of a scale model. It is about 6 inches long. A version of a 1970s Volkswagen Beetle that I set on my desk. So he was inspired by that, and he bought a car on Amazon or eBay. I can't remember which one. And it turned out to be a little tiny car, but it was just the physical representation. He said, I put it on my desk and I saw it. I looked at it every day. It was on my desk and I looked at it every day. And at times he would play around with it and drive it around on his desk. And I'm going to tell you, there's a whole lot more that goes into it than just that. There is, it's what we call being nostalgic for the future. That's a phrase I'll come back to in other podcast content in the near future. But here's what happened when he was playing around with that car on his desk. When he looked at it every day, it caused him to begin to feel a great sense of nostalgia for the future. Powerful stuff I'm going to be sharing with you in future content here. But anyway, putting his goal in front of every day where he could see it, definitely valuable. And then he says the whole conference helped him to redefine my why, is what he said. And I just love what he shared. Daryl, I'm inspired by you, my friend. I am so thankful to have you as the friend that you are in my life. I am so thrilled that you and I had dinner together there in, what was it, Philadelphia for Podcast Movement last year. I am thrilled that you allowed me to communicate to you in a way that would motivate you and inspire you to buy a ticket to Free the Dream last year. And I'm so thrilled that you got to, and I'm going to go back to what you said in the very first video, that you went through the process and that you had the opportunity to bask in the glow from that experience. And, you know, I do pray that you will bring your wife and your kids to Free the Dream 2019. And I pray that other people listening to our content here, our voices, and I'm saying I'm talking about mine and Daryl's, that this will motivate you and inspire you. I mean, and by the way, you can take the 10 steps and go back and listen to them and write them down. And I'm going to be sharing a ton of the Free the Dream message and content for free here. I mean, I'll give you can go to mindsetanswerman.com/free and go watch the opening keynote address that will tell you all about belief systems and where you're getting your belief system from, and the beliefs that you have from, and how to eliminate those and replace them with empowering beliefs. You get that for free right now at mindsetanswerman.com/free. I'm going to share with you everything for free in this podcast, in vlog content, social media posts on IGTV, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. But I got to tell you, there is something about going away to a conference, getting out of your normal routine, breaking free from the distractions, breaking the pattern of habits that you're typically in on a consistent day. And by the way, there are so many habits that you are familiar with, behaviors that you would love to change. There are even more patterns and habits in your life that you're not even aware of doing every single day. There's something that goes on in our lives. Most of us are living, and actually all of us, we have hypnotized ourselves to automatically run on autopilot so much of our life. And if you want to experience change, if you want to break through to new levels of success, you've got to start breaking patterns. And one thing you can do is to put the routine on pause, to go away for a couple days where, quite frankly, you're out of your routine. You can't just go on autopilot. Don't be surprised if you wake up in the morning and you don't just automatically floss your teeth, because, well, guess what? You're not in the same place putting your hands into the same drawer to pull out the same flosser. And break your patterns, come away, immerse yourself in a 2.5-day experience in Franklin, Tennessee this year. And I promise you will have an experience. And this is not just sales copy. I did not go to my friend Ray Edwards and say, how do I communicate the value of this to people? I did not go to my professional copywriter, my friend Rusty Ryle, who I've been working with on sales pages and all kinds of other stuff. I didn't go to him for any of the words that I'm speaking to you right now. All of this is built upon the private video that Daryl Darnell sent to me 1 week after his experience at Free the Dream that I shared with you in audio form here. And then the subsequent story of how the one thing that he chose to go through the goal setting workshop and actually filled out all the questions and he got the leverage. He worked out all the reasons why he must have that. And I'm not shocked that it was the first one on his list. And so what Daryl needs to do is to go through those 36 questions, go through that same process. And hopefully he'll break from the routine. I'm not saying, Daryl, you have to come back to Free the Dream to do the other ones, but you do need to go away. Take a weekend off and go away and find, like, you're by yourself somewhere and go through that. You've got the workbook. That's one of my favorite things is how many people from Free the Dream, when they're talking with me, they literally pull up on Zoom. They're showing me their workbook and they're like, Cliff, can we go and talk through this? so many people in my mastermind group, and people are referring to their workbooks from Free the Dream still today. How many conferences have you attended where there are workbooks that you keep your workbook on your desk at all times? I'm telling you, my friends, there is a reason I was put on this earth, and one of the key reasons is to do events like Free the Dream. I believe it's not me. I do believe it's a God thing. This is not, like I said, we're not here to convert anybody to any sort of faith or anything like this. But I want to tell you, I believe I was created to do the stuff that I've been doing over the past 18 months, and Free the Dream is one of them. You hear me talk about mastermind groups that are transforming people's lives. If you want to be in a mastermind group with me, email me, cliff@cliffravenscraft.com, and put mastermind in the subject line. We'll talk about mastermind groups. You've heard me talk about building an online business next level workshops, and people's lives have been radically transformed. Businesses have been formed. Businesses that existed have all of a sudden tripled their income. Some have more than tripled their income. There have been people there were 4 married couples who attended the Thriving Marriage Workshop, and their marriages radically impacted by that. And Free the Dream Conference. Guys, please don't delay. Go to freethedreamconference.com. freethedreamconference.com. Purchase your tickets today. And if you're married, bring your wife. If you have kids that'll sit down for 2.5 days, bring your kids. And by the way, if you have, like, let's just say some 13 and up kids that you don't think they would sit down and do this, well, I'm going to bring some people on who brought their kids that they thought, are they going to, and they got just as much out of this. I said that if you're a business owner, you'll experience new levels of success in your business. If you're a husband, your marriage as your relationship with your wife is going to be transformed. If you're a wife, your relationship with your husband is going to be transformed. If you're a mom or a dad, your relationship with your kids are going to be transformed. But I forgot to say, if you are a 13-year-old all the way up to a student in college, you're going to transform your relationship with your peers at school. You're going to improve the grades that you get in school, if that's a goal and a desire for you. You're going to start having dreams and start pursuing what it is that you were put on this earth to do. It is going to be an incredible event. freethedreamconference.com. Get your tickets, reserve your seats today before the prices go up again. So I can't wait to see you in Franklin, Tennessee. Until next time, my friends, I encourage you to take everything you do to the next level.
Mindset, answer man.